It's happening everywhere, and it's happening all at once. If it feels like the world has suddenly erupted in protest over the last 18 months, that's because it has. But look closely at the faces on the front lines. They aren't opposition politicians. They aren't old-school union leaders. They're 20 years old. They're organizing on Discord, and they are absolutely furious. Today, we're breaking down the global Gen Z uprising of 2024 and 2025. Why did the most digital generation in history decide to take it to the streets? On the surface, these protests look different. In Kenya in 2024, it started over a finance bill that would have raised taxes on bread and diapers. In Bangladesh, it was about unfair job quotas for government positions. In Nepal, just a few months ago in September 2025, the spark was the government trying to ban TikTok and other social media platforms. That decision actually led to the government collapsing. Different triggers, but the exact same fuel. Think of these events not as separate fires, but as one massive underground coal seam that's igniting in different places. So, what is that fuel? It comes down to three massive betrayals that Gen Z feels right now. The first is economic strangulation. Sociologists have a term for what many young people in the global south are experiencing: waithood. This is the most educated generation in human history. Yet in countries from Morocco to Peru, they are entering economies that have nothing for them. They have degrees, but they can't get the jobs that allow them to move out, marry, or start real life. They are stuck waiting. When a government tells these young people, who are already struggling to eat, that they need to pay higher taxes to fund a corrupt system, or that they are spending billions on World Cup stadiums instead of schools, that waithood turns into rage. This leads to the second major driver, and this one is personal. It's the hatred of systemic corruption, specifically what they call the Nepo babies. Remember, Gen Z sees everything. In places like Nepal and Indonesia, a major driver of the 2025 protests was watching the children of the political elite flaunt lavish, stolen wealth on social media while the average citizen dealt with power outages. It's one thing to be poor. It's another thing to be poor while watching the people who govern you flex the money they stole from your future on Instagram Live. That visibility made the corruption unbearable. And finally, the third driver: do not touch their internet. For Gen Z, the internet isn't just a utility. It's their primary public square, their news source, and their organizing tool. When governments get scared of these simmering tensions, their first move in the 2020s is often a digital blackout, shutting down social media to stop people from organizing. But in 2025, that tactic backfired spectacularly. In Nepal, the social media ban didn't stop the protests. It became the reason for the protests, drawing thousands more people into the streets who felt silenced. They aren't just protesting for different reasons, they are protesting in a totally different way. Have you noticed the Straw Hat Pirate flag from the anime One Piece popping up in protest footage globally? Why is it there? Because in the show, the pirates fight a corrupt, oppressive world government to create a new era of freedom. It's a global shorthand, a meme that crosses language barriers to say, "We are the rebels against the old system." These movements are often leaderless. They organize on decentralized gaming servers like Discord. This makes them incredibly hard for governments to stop. You can't just arrest one leader and end the movement, because there is no single leader. And because they are digitally native, the contagion is instant. When Gen Z in Madagascar sees Gen Z in Bangladesh topple a government, they immediately realize, wait, we can do that too. Previous generations often fought ideological battles, capitalism versus communism. The 2024-2025 global wave of Gen Z protests isn't about ideology. It's about competence. It's pragmatic. They are demanding basic things: an economy that isn't rigged, politicians who aren't looting the treasury, and the right to speak online. They are the first generation to grow up seeing the entire world on their screens, and they are the first generation to realize that if they want a future, they're going to have to force the old guard out of the way to build it themselves.